It is not often I make 2 videos in a day, but this news is too good to pass up. The New England Patriots make the smartest move of the year. Let's talk about it. My name is Aaron. This is Sports Talk Patriots on the daily, pushing out that content to people just like you who can't get enough Patriots football. So before we get started, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and comment below. If you've already watched my video from earlier today, it's kind of down, kind of upset. You know, the time I wanted them to win or wanted them to lose, and they won, and blah, 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 blah. But now, ladies and gentlemen, Mayo has officially been fired. Here's a statement from Chairman and CEO Robert Kraft, basically saying, Gerard, I appreciate you for all your work. Told him he's not going to be returning. He has a great relationship with him. Very, very classy move on the part of Robert Kraft. Now, in my opinion, this writing was on the wall. We saw this coming. A lot of people weren't sure. Now, Adam Schefter did say today he was pretty confident that the New England Patriots would move on from Gerard Mayo. Now, anytime I see Adam Schefter say anything, it raises my eyebrow, it piques my interest, just because he says a lot of stuff. He knows a lot of people, regardless of what you think about him or not. He figures things out. And so after him saying that today, I was just kind of like, oh, maybe it's a possibility. But for week after week, the past handful of weeks, it seemed like to me they were going to stick with Gerard Mayo. And that's what I had said. I had said, now, if they stick with him, which that's what it seems like. I said that phrase many, many times. Now, I will say, is this a surprise? In a way, yes. Again, I thought they would give him one more year. The Kraft family had never fired someone after one season. And so looking at this, Robert Kraft sees, hey, listen, this is not the organization that, you know, I remember being champions and all of this stuff, and I don't feel like it's going in the right direction. We need to change course and figure something else out. Now, the fun part, let me say one other thing. Gerard Mayo, he came into a very, very tough situation. He came in never being a head coach before, kind of figuring out what they're going to do from the scraps that were left by kind of the crumbled Bill Belichick era. And he had a lot of things going against him. The offensive line, not having trying to figure out who's going to start at quarterback. Again, having defensive injuries, having all these other injuries. A lot of things went wrong for Gerard Mayo. But when it comes down to it, he didn't have the experience. And it probably would have been better for him to potentially get a higher position in a franchise before jumping directly to head coach. Again, I'm not saying he's a bad person. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying for anyone jumping into a role like that, that is difficult, especially jumping in after someone like Bill Belichick. That's hard to do. That is incredibly hard to do. So I tip my hat to Gerard Mayo. I wish him the best moving forward, and I'm sure he will land on his feet somewhere. I hate to see that this is how he left the organization, but again, we will see what happens from there. That being said, everyone wants to see him succeed, but what people want to see more is who is going to be coaching moving forward for the New England Patriots. Now, I think the top person right now is Mike Vrabel. I think hands down, they're going to bring him back. I would be surprised if they did not. He has said he is interested in the job, so we will see moving forward with that. Again, I would love to have Mike, and I'm going to tell you right now, of this list, I'm going to tell you exactly who I'd love and who I'd hate. Mike Vrabel, number one, I think it's a done deal, in my opinion. They do not want him going to the Jets. He's interviewed with the Jets. There's no way they're going to let go of him. So Mike Vrabel, number one. He did well for an organization for the Titans. I was kind of surprised the Titans let him go. Brought him to an AFC championship game as a wild card. Obviously lost to the Kansas City Chiefs. But that being said, he is a great coach. And he will bring the Patriots back to what they are supposed to be, especially with the opportunities at hand when it comes to this offseason, the cap space, the 4th overall pick, which should have been the 1st overall pick. But anyways, he is going to do great. We'll clear house, offensive coordinator's gone, all of this stuff. We will see what happens there, but I think he will do a good job. Number two, I really like number two. He has not been a head coach, but Ben Johnson has shown that he knows what to do with the Detroit Lions. We're talking the Detroit Lions, who my whole life have been awful. They have been awful. They have never made a Super Bowl. This offense has broken records this season. Ben Johnson is a huge part of that. He is a genius when it comes to the offensive side of the ball, and he can help coach up Drake May. He can figure out as well things to do with Kayshon Boutte, with Pop Douglas, with Ramondre Stevenson. He's the guy that is a great choice if they go that direction. Now, I don't know if they will. Again, I think a lot of things point to Ben Johnson possibly going to the Bears. If not, also, this would be crazy, but staying as offensive coordinator. Apparently, he really likes Detroit, and so we'll see what happens. But again, that would be a great pick. Aaron Glenn, he's been thrown a curveball this year with all the injuries in Detroit on that side of the ball. On the defensive side of the ball, I think he is a great coach. But again, if they go for a head coach that has a defensive background, I'd rather go someone like Vrabel than anyone else. Go Vrabel. He's had that experience. Aaron Glenn has not had experience as head coach. I think what also tells me it's going to be Mike Vrabel is I have a hard time seeing them, unless it's someone like Ben Johnson. I think everyone else on this list who has never been a head coach, I don't think they're going to take a chance on, just because they already tried that with Jerod Mayo. Cliff Kingsbury, no, don't want you. I feel like don't get me wrong. I think he's a good coordinator. I do not think he's a good head coach. He was at Texas Tech as the head coach, did very mediocre, and then somehow got the job for the Arizona Cardinals, and then we know he got fired, and then he has jumped around. I don't think he's a head coach. I think he's a coordinator. I'm gonna leave it at that. Brian Flores, nope, sorry. Joe Brady, not really interested. Thomas Brown, not interested. Pete Carroll, you're too old, not interested. Liam Cohen, not interested. Marcus Freeman. I like Marcus Freeman. I think he's a great coach, but at the collegiate level, taking a very just big question mark coming from college, it's a whole different ballgame coming to the pros. I'm not saying he couldn't do it one day, but listen, he makes the playoffs. He made it to the Final Four so far, could win a national championship. You never know. I don't think they will, but you never know. I just don't think it's a smart move. So that being said, I think Mark Vrabel is the guy in the driver's seat right now. I think if he wants the job, he can take it. I think that's it. If he doesn't take the job, I think you see Ben Johnson interested, but I don't think we know for a while until the playoffs are done. And if it is really stretched out for a long time, it could be Ben Johnson, because they could be waiting on him to finish up and get into their off season. So we will see. But again, I think it's going to be Mike Vrabel. I think Robert Kraft realizes I made a mistake. He should have hired him on the get-go, and he has the experience. He has a great resume. He was a former Patriot. Everything lines up. I'm going to be honest with you. Everything lines up with Mike Vrabel. So comment below. Tell me what you think about the whole Jerod Mayo firing. Tell me what you think about Mike Vrabel. Tell me what you think about Ben Johnson, or maybe a coach I haven't talked about. Comment below. I would love to hear it. You guys rock. Things are looking up for the New England Patriots. Say that to yourself. Look in the mirror. I don't care. Say to yourself, things are looking up for the New England Patriots. Hit that subscribe button on your way out. We'll talk later. Peace.